like to call the meeting to order. It's 4 p.m. I'd like to welcome you all. I have, as we go through, gentlemen, you'll find there's a couple of things that came up even after you picked up your packets, okay? But it's all good. First, I'd like to ask if you have had a chance to review in the minutes from our last meeting on November 19th. And if so,
motion to approve the minutes for November 19th as presented.
Okay.
I always have one little comment.
I know, and I was getting worried because of the hesitation. If
Yeah.
you didn't have a correction or an issue, I was going to say, God, should I call Suzanne? Are you all right?
It's actually probably a question, but it probably is. It says number 7.
Okay.
Other from committee.
Yes.
Should that be other from community, because the committee is number 8. And the people in there are not on the committee.
Other from committee. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it should be a public comment.
Public comment.
That,
Yeah.
I'll go with that. Public comments.
Public comment. Thank you. Excuse me while I reach over and smack the note taker. I'm gonna make it more of announcements later because I do have a couple of minor changes to the minutes. But anyway, thank you, gentlemen. And okay, so are you approving, given the addendum, Greg?
Yeah, with that change, yes.
Okay, so all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
It's mentioned in the minutes. It's talking about the highway equipment auction. Is there a date on that yet? Or did it already happen?
No. It
5
has,
p.m. December 16th is when you have to have your bids, sealed bids into the selectman's office. And the opening would be at the December 17th meeting.
Okay.
so if you're interested, you better go over and check that stuff out. There might be a nice front end loader or 8-foot plow, Greg.
I don't know about that, but there's a trailer in there.
If you read, it did say, in all honesty, an older trailer.
Yes.
It may be more, problems that it's worth, but, again, check it out.
Okay, that's it. So other than that,
Okay.
it's approved.
Did you gentlemen have a chance to revise I'm sorry, to review the program guidelines for the block grant, the housing rehab program that we have in town?
I skimmed it.
Okay. One thing I want to mention to you, and I do not believe, I received this after you had picked up your packets, and I'm going to read it to you. This is Mary Brahm, who's the Community Development Administrator.
We got that.
Oh, you got her?
Yeah,
Okay.
just then.
Brenda emailed it to us.
Oh, all right, great. Okay. There was you got the corrected one, okay, because there was a typo on it this morning, and we called Mary, so we're all set. But do you feel comfortable with that?
You know more about it. Why don't you? Do you feel comfortable?
I do. Only because it was Karen and I met with Mary last week, I believe, and went through the ins and the outs. The other good thing is Mary has experience running this program for Killingly and other towns. And that's why we kind of contracted with her based on her experience. She had a lot of really, at our meeting, had a lot of really good suggestions, which are mentioned in this memo that she sent today.
Okay.
On how to have the program be better. One of the things, this is going to make life easier for our finance department, Karen and Diane, because they were sending bills out monthly to individuals that were ignoring the bills. So this way, with the 100% deferral, it means the money comes back when the house is sold or transferred or if it goes to refinance, and they don't have to worry about sending out monthly bills that people are going to ignore anyway.
It's a good program. It's helped out several people when they were in trouble.
What happens if the house, has a problem, a fire, burns down or something like that?
That's why we have insurance.
Okay.
Seriously, if you have a loan out and your house burns down, when the insurance company comes, they're going to see this in effect means that the town has a lien against that property.
Yeah.
I don't want to use the word lien because legally it's not. But before the insurance company pays off the loss of the house, they're going to go after any creditors, be it the mortgage company or the town of Woodstock. We will get our money out of that, and then whatever's left would go to the owner of the property.
Right.
That's my concern, so yeah. All right.
Oh, no, in fact, seriously, the reason that Karen and I met with Mary is we're looking out to protect the town interest, because I had a lot of concerns of how it's been administered in the past by a previous company. And I just want to, it's a nice program, and Shan hit it on the head. It really helped out some very deserving people. And one of the issues we had is we have a waiting list for people that really need this. But I think what we're looking at now and how Mary is running it, it's going to be more efficient, and it will be able to help more people.
It seems like it's going to be more streamlined, makes more sense than with the new way.
Yes, I agree. And it makes things, there was a lot of unnecessary work or pressure, if you will, on Karen and Diane with this billing that just got ignored, and checks weren't coming in and this sort of thing.
So if we approve this, are you asking us to approve this?
Yes,
So if we do, then is that the final thing that it's in place and it's an active program?
it's been in place and it is active. The only thing is, by approving it, and that's why we did the summary sheet for your review, is the packet that you have covers the program, including some of the previous program that we had. The differences are that single sheet that you both got where it says changes to the program guidelines, which Mary, based on her experience with other towns, came up with. And that's why she sent this morning as bullet points for the three of us to see what the changes are.
Could I suggest that once this is done, that be, I know you're going to advertise it somehow, but
No. It is advertised now. We don't do a shopper's guide type thing.
Yeah.
This is advertised to the people in town. They already know about it. And as I said, we've got people participating now, but we have people on a waiting list. So there's no need to advertise it.
I was kind of thinking, I said advertise, but I was kind of thinking maybe a news release just to say that we've changed the way the program is financed or something to make it easier for all. And
I'd rather not do that. And the reason is it's making it efficient and easier, period. But I don't want to make it sound like we're making a deal for the general public.
Okay.
No,
There's a waiting list. There's really no point.
Yeah, and I'm really concerned, Greg, about if we start advertising things that we do as our normal day-to-day activities in town. Honest to goodness, we're going to have people come out of the woodwork, say, "Hey, I want a part of this." Well, I'm sorry, ma'am, you don't qualify for this because of X, And it's sort of like, I don't know, we're doing good things, but we're doing it in a subtle way.
Okay.
I'm
comfortable.
Okay.
It's really helped out people, Greg, over the past. People need a roof, people need a furnace, people need a septic, and it's given them a chance to do that without going into a real problem.
Yeah, okay.
And the other thing, Greg, that we're going to keep in mind is, as I said, we have a waiting list now, and I can't tell you how many people are on it, but it's already too long because there have been delays in people paying back the money to the town, so that we again can lend it out to new families.
Yeah. Okay.
So anyway, Okay.
You want a motion for that?
Yeah, I would say, yeah, consider and vote that, we're in agreement with the suggestions made by the administrator of the program.
I'll make a motion to accept the revised housing rehabilitation program guidelines on the 10 pages listed in the agenda, plus the single sheet that was added on.
Second, Greg?
Second.
Okay, and I agree, so we'll make it unanimous. Thank you. Okay, tax rebates. We have three. Total of let's see, $518.42. The second one is $65.78, and the third is $84.13. They're all going to Ford Credit Personal Property. Are you in favor?
So moved.
In
Second?
favor?
Okay, I also. Okay. Correspondence and announcements. I have a letter, and I believe you were all copied on this. I've got a number of resignations. Judith Grease has resigned. It's her formal resignation from the Woodstock Beautification Committee, and it's effective November 20th. It's a nice letter, and she's really enjoyed the time that she has spent doing it. And she wanted to thank the Board of Selectmen and the Highway Department for their continued support and efforts to preserve the beautification of the commons. They also have done a lot of work here at the town hall recently in plantings and weeding and that sort of thing. So anyway, Judith has resigned. I have another resignation letter from Dr. Timothy Monahan. It's with regret that he's decided to resign his position as a member of the Woodstock Historical District Commission. Now, this is effective June, next June of 2021. He just feels his family work commitments as well as other interests compel him to make room for somebody with more time and energy. And he said that when he joined in 2019, he was a resident of the district, but he's no longer the case. And he feels that at least one member of that district commission should be a resident. And he just wanted to say how good it was. And he's submitting this 6 months in advance so that it would give us an opportunity to fill his position. I have a letter. This is from Dave Mullen. He has served on the Crystal Pond Park Commission, and he's also been the treasurer. And he's effective immediately. This is November 24th. He's resigning as both a member of the commission and also the treasurer position. I have a letter from Peter Ellsworth, and he said that since the 90s, he's been very active with the Town of Woodstock Water Pollution Control Commission. And he said for health reasons, he's forced to submit his resignation. He's enjoyed over the years, he's very much enjoyed being a part of town government and working with its staff. We've kind of put the word out, and I sent an email to Stu Morse, who's the chair, former chair, I'm sorry. And I mentioned that, Peter was resigning so that he and Roger Gale also knows about it. So they're searching for somebody to replace Peter. Let's see, the other thing I have. My folder only. Okay. I'm not going to get into the details, but Dave Pitney is a law firm that represents the town, and they represent us in bonding issues, and they have represented us for a number of years. And the gentleman, Doug Gillette, is the attorney of note with Dave Pitney, which is the firm. What they recently discovered is that one of the other attorneys in their firm represents Yale University, and it's in relation to Yale Forest, of which there are some parcels in Woodstock. And I signed the other day an agreement of, it's a waiver for being able to continue to have Doug represent us in the bonding issue and their firm represent us, even though another attorney in this firm represents Yale, which has property in town. And I consulted with Rich Roberts, and we decided that based on the size of the firm, it's like apples and oranges. You have one attorney representing Yale who has property in town, and you have another attorney representing us primarily in bond issues. So I signed a waiver. There was no conflict of interest, and we, the town, are willing to abide by that. I have another, and it's been a few days, so that's why the hesitation. I've got to remember exactly what this is. My folder only. This is from District 11, Department of Transportation, utility adjustments. And I forgot to use my handy dandy highlighter. But what it is they're going to be doing highway work, and we have to be responsible if we have to do something with the highways in preparation. And what the state is going to be doing is utility adjustments on state maintained highways and a resurfacing program. But part of this is the town has to be responsible. And I got this long list, but when I actually looked at the list, the only thing it is for Woodstock is Route 101 to Route 171 in Woodstock, and the rest of the list is other towns. So basically, I talked to John about it. I gave him a copy of this.
Wait a minute, 101 doesn't go to Woodstock.
No, I know, but 101 connects to 171, and it's,
No,
well,
it's the 169.
it says 101 to Route 71. I think Route 171, they're going to be doing, I think they're going to be doing both routes, but 171 in Woodstock is the one we are going to be responsible for. And I think in Pomfret, it's 101. Let me
Yes.
look.
Yeah, 101's
Yeah.
in Pomfret, yes.
Yes, but it has towns affected. It has Pomfret and Woodstock. So I guess it's 101 in Pomfret and 171 in Woodstock.
Okay.
So, but anyway, John's aware of it. I showed it to him.
What does it mean by where the town is responsible to do what? Pave the road?
Give me a second. The enclosed 2021 tentative termini locations be reviewed, all of your utility structures inspected. Any adjustments or repairs must be completed to the satisfaction of the department. Any adjustments that result in a poor ride service will be required to be corrected at the expense of the utility within 30 calendar days of notification. Now, this is utilities, so it's, Greg, that's your expertise, remember?
Okay,
With the polls. And then it goes through, upon your review, notify the office in writing with the locations where your facilities will require raised or adjusting. This is where you see many times if they're going to pave, they end up raising up sewers.
catch basins and
Yeah,
manhole covers and
right. So that's going to be required. And then it says to facilitate reimbursement for raising or adjusting utility structures, you must submit an estimate for each location, blah, 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 that expects it. So if we want money out of it prior to construction, we would have to submit a request for reimbursement. So for us, I mean, this is statewide or District 11, I guess. So it's 101 for Pomfret and it is 171 for Woodstock. And then it's got East Hampton, Salem, Bosworth, Deep River, and others. John said it basically, this is a form of, it's just a formal thing they do every couple of years.
I'm
That's about it.
confused. I don't understand what they're asking or what they're telling us.
Basically, they're going to be doing work on 171, and we have some responsibilities to make sure that if it's town structures that are on the state highway or close to the state highway, we have to make sure they're stable so that they can pave. That's what I read into it.
John's aware of any assistance that they're going to need. Typically, it's hardly anything from the town's end.
Yeah, and he's, I think he was copied on this, and I've already talked to him about it. So, let's see. Okay, we're going to have on December 17th, you can plan your social calendars. We're going to have a Board of Selectmen Zoom meeting, 4 o'clock. One of the things that we're going to be doing is we were going to have a public hearing prior to our Zoom meeting at 4 o'clock. And what the issue was, this kind of goes back to what we had decided. We were going to do a public meeting at the middle school, and we decided because of the COVID situation, we didn't want to take that chance. So we will be doing some things under executive order at our Board of Selectmen's meeting. Two of them that come to mind is the situation of the formal releasing of funds for the Maple Crest Farm. It's right here, Maple Crest Farm purchase, the development rights. That's going to be done at our meeting under executive order. The other thing is, Don, you just showed up. You're muted. Still muted? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, and now I believe you can hear me. Yes. I said I've been lurking in the darkness. I've been here all along.
I would have welcomed you. I didn't know you were there, but I just mentioned you, and there you are.
Yep.
Anyway, and it's good you're here because we've got something else that would affect you. Anyway, the other thing, gentlemen, is we're going to do that tax exemption ordinance for horses and ponies. And I gave you the history of that at one time, because they were used for transportation, they were used for work to make profit. It continued in many towns. Woodstock is one. And what happens is people's horses and ponies are being taxed as property. And it was, actually it was Emily's suggestion that we do away with that and come up with an ordinance. So the horses and ponies are tax exempt. So we can do that under the executive orders from the governor. Now, the other thing is, we went back and forth with Rich Roberts on this, and we wanted the general public to have an opportunity to express, to have questions answered or to express concerns. And then we decided we were going to do like an hour before or a half hour before our meeting at 4 p.m. that we would do this. But what we've done now is what they do for the Board of Education. And what we're thinking is the Board of Ed, as part of the announcement for their meeting, they instruct the general public. If you have a question for the Board of Ed, you can send an email question by a certain time to either Victor Toth or the chair, Megan Bard Morse, this sort of thing. So we thought we'd do the same format so that they can, rather than having a pre-meeting, we could do the same format. So people, if they had questions, they can be instructed to send an email, and it would be answered by, in fact, Dawn, I'm glad to hear, because this is going to be sent to you and discussed, this thing that I'm reading from, that Crystal will send to you. So that folks, that if they have questions about Maple Crest or are my taxes going to go up, we joke about that. But if there are concerns, the emails can go to you to be answered by you, at that Board of Selectmen's meeting. And the same thing with Emily on the implications for a property tax exemption for horses and ponies. And Dawn, this, as I said, is going to come to you probably this afternoon.
Okay.
Because Crystal's been working on it today. So go ahead.
Just mechanics. Will I be answering the questions directly without you guys seeing the answer? Should I copy you on anything that goes back and forth?
I think we would, if we would send you the email question, and then if you wanted to email back Crystal, I can read the answers and I can basically do like Megan Bard Morse does this now.
Okay.
She'll say, I have a question here from Mary Smith of Green Road, and she wants to know if the school is going to reimburse her for transportation. And then she'll answer as part of the meeting.
Okay, so the questions, you're not gonna pass out my email to everybody, which I have
Oh,
no
no.
issues with. No, well,
we're-
no, that wasn't
no, no,
that wasn't
no,
the
we're-
concern.
We're
I
gonna
just-
pass out Greg's email, and then Greg can get the answers from you, and then he can make the presentation.
Okay.
He's not even flinching.
Yeah, he's
know
giving
that-
you the
You-
raised eyebrow.
you know that beach that Chandler was going to be reporting from?
Yeah, you'll be right next to him on
I'm
the next
there.
blanket.
I'm there.
Okay.
No, mwah.
Are you gonna do one at the end of the presentation like Megan does? Yes.
A summary?
Well, no.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. I'm being questioned off camera. No, like Megan does, in fact, she's doing it tonight. If you want to watch, there's a Board of Ed meeting, 7 o'clock. Anyway, Christine just asked, would there be a summary at the end? And that's true, where somebody can send this just in. God, I feel like Walter Cronkite. Citizens' comments could be submitted via chat function in the Zoom online meeting. So if somebody happened to be at this meeting and somebody said something, and they triggered a thought, and they said, oh goodness, it's too late to send an email in, they could do the chat function, and then Crystal could read it and just say that, you know, a question just came in from so-and-so about Maple Crest, and can we do that? So basically what I'm saying, through the use of technology, we're trying to cover all the bases. We're trying to be fair to Dawn and her group, and also the Young family, but also to citizens that may have questions about how is this working out? And as Dawn mentioned some weeks ago, there's always that fear of people thinking, oh, my taxes are going to go up, and it has nothing to do with their taxes. And also, you know, if somebody was thinking about, you know, buying a horse or whatever, and they had a question, well, does this mean that I won't be taxed? Yes, that's what this means.
Okay, so I'm no longer going to do the PowerPoint presentation that we had prepared for Celebrating Ag, and it's posted on the town's website, correct?
I believe so.
Okay, I'll just be here in case anybody has any questions.
Right.
Okay.
And I just got another note. Oh, it says Dawn can email. It says, I'm reading what it says. It says Dawn can email me if she has any questions.
Okay.
What it really means is Dawn should email Crystal. Don't email me, Crystal, if you have any questions.
I thought you were going to read my chat message that I sent you while you were talking.
Oh, I don't have they don't trust me with any technology. Everything I type, you've heard of King Midas with the magic touch. Everything he touched turned to gold. I have the
Clay?
fecal touch.
Okay, the fecal.
Okay.
Fecal touch, is that what he said, fecal touch?
Yes, that's what I said. Okay, gentlemen, a couple other things.
I saw something that was funny like that. I can't remember what it was.
Okay. The other thing is we had approved and decided, and I want to clarify because the minutes kind of reflected this. We were talking about the transfer station, and we were going to go 6 months, and we decided to go the calendar year because there may be some changes with tax rates, et cetera. So we figured for 2021, we would go calendar year. And Chan, you had mentioned you were very concerned, and I saw this in the minutes this morning. You wanted to start advertising that we were going to switch over to the
Fiscal.
fiscal year. And you want to start advertising. And I was asked that this morning, and I said, I think Chan wants it advertised. We don't have to start now in December, but you want to give fair warning to people that this will occur next year. And it's going to be in 2022, actually, where it would be January 2022 to July. And then eventually we would get on to the fiscal year. But for this year, but you, anyway, you wanted to give fair warning, but you didn't mean necessarily to start now advertising.
Correct. No, I just want to make sure that it happens next time.
Absolutely. And that was a concern, because as much as we were going to go with the 6 months, that's the reason we decided not to do that, because people would think, what a bargain, but they wouldn't understand, or they would refuse to recognize it's only for 6 months. So obviously we'll make that change and advertise.
Is that something that you could, is there a little simple handout that you could attach to permits, to this year's permits?
I thought of that. In fact, Brenda and I went back and forth on that. For instance, when we were going to go the 6 month as a transition, we talked about putting something on the cover and to catch their attention, but we had problems with the size of the font. And we also weren't sure. People get their permits. I know they get the permits because they need to put them on the windshield, but we don't even know if they read the brochures that come out with them. And Christine, who sells them, is over to my left, nodding no. So we are going to have to get something out to them. It might be easier. I'll look into that. It might be easier to have a slip of a different colored paper stapled to get their attention that we are going to a transition of 6 months in anticipation of switching to a fiscal year in the future. And I agree with you. I don't want to catch them cold, because it's going to be kind of a shock anyway, and we've got to kind of ease people into it.
That works.
Okay. The other thing is, on the thing that you approved, one of the things we decided to do was, you gentlemen don't have this. This was going out, it was going in advertising, half-page ads for 3 weeks in the Shopper's Guide. And it basically, I'll just hold it up to show you. It's basically an announcement from us, Board of Selectmen, since we are responsible for setting the rates at the transfer station. I had messed up. I know it's hard to believe. Make note of it on your calendars. But we had Woodstock seniors, 65 road that we had down. And in effect, it was okay. We agreed to that. But we look at Woodstock seasonal, which is May 21st to September 7th, $95. We figured we had two things here that were $190, and we had one that was 95 and one that was 96. Anyway, today I made the decision, we're going to go back to $95. It's $1, because I'm afraid poor, elderly people are going to come up with a checkbook, and they write a check for $95, and then Christina or Judy's going to say, well, that's 96, and now they have to go out to the car to get 4 quarters. Anyway, $95. The other thing, inside the brochure that's going out to people when they pick up their permit, we're changing it to $95 for the seniors. And Brenda brought this to my attention. I'm glad we have sharp people in the office, because left to my own devices, I'll tell you, we'd be in deep trouble. Anyway, she brought up to me that we had changed the bulky waste. And we had 30 to 55 gallon container, we had $10. And right next to it, we had minimum bulky charge, $15. So she pointed it out to me and I said, you're absolutely right. So we've changed that rate. It's $15 for either 30 to 55 gallon container is $15. And right next to it, it says minimum charge, it's $15. Again, it was more of a typo. The other wonderful news, and I know I'm glad you gentlemen are sitting down. My good friend and associate, Anthony Pizzetti, who is doing a terrific job here on a variety of things, is sponsoring a number of holiday activities. One of which is a contest in town decorating your home. And it's going to be, you know, with lights and whatever. And he wanted some people with taste who are suave and debonair, but he needed people to be judges. So he nominated a Chandler Paquette, it's Paquette, and a Greg Klein and a Jay Swan. And I could see that, you know, you got, I don't know, can you see? Gentlemen, you're not smiling. There you go. I see the smiles. Okay. Because I figured in your free time, if you have nothing better to do, we can drive. We don't have to go together, by the way. We can drive around town in the numerous amount of free time we have, and we're going to judge. Now, these people have to register with Anthony's office, and they'll say, you know, the Smith family of, you know, English Neighborhood Road would like to enter. So they enter. We will be given maps, much like they did for the townwide yard sale last year, with people's names and whatever. And at some point, I think judging, we're asking them to put lights on from, I don't know, 4:30 until 8 or something. We would go around and make some determination. You know, we can talk sometime. I'm thinking scoring, you know, 1 to 10, and we would come up with first, second, and third place. And there's also, I believe, a People's Choice Award, so that anybody that wanted could drive around town and just based on popularity could say, you know, my children love this particular house. One of the things we have is the Woodstock Cup. You may have heard of the Yale Cup. This is the Woodstock Cup, and it's a trophy which will be displayed. Greg, please don't laugh. You hurt my feelings, man. I'm trying to be serious.
I just thinking about the definitions of cup.
Oh, well, you know, I thought
Stanley
of that
Cup,
too.
you know.
I'm with you. Anyway, no, Anthony, listen, the poor guy, you know, recreation has taken a major hit, whether it's Willie Biscuit or Anthony Pizzetti. Anyway, Anthony has come up with some really innovative ideas, to the point that he's working with the folks down at New England Awards and Trophies in South Woodstock, and they came up with the idea of a cup, and it'll be mounted on a walnut base, and it will have a plate on it. You know, it's Woodstock and, you know, holiday lighting display, and then there's plates on the sides, so it would say the Klein family 2020. And then the Paquette family in 2021. It would be on display in our new hallway out here that we had renovated on a you know, in a corner cabinet perhaps. And you know, you can keep it for a year and this sort of thing. So he's already got people registering. I think what's going to happen is on our own time, we'll run around, check out the various houses. And I think we probably, the three of us, should sit down and discuss the various houses so that we can come up with first, second, and third based on us agreeing. Oh, I don't, no, nobody has to, you know, we're not voting on this. You've been assigned.
I'm in.
You don't have a choice.
Okay.
I think we're all exempt because Linda Bernardi accused me. She said, "Oh, I can see it now. There's that house at 22 English neighborhood that's going to run, be first place." And I said, "No, I'm hoping that house doesn't even enter." But it's not up to me to say. I just live there. Okay.
It's the most wonderful time of the year, and it's fitting that we should do this. And I certainly commend Anthony for his energy and thinking of this, and I'm glad to be part of it. So,
And
It's nice that he's coming up with creative ways to get around the COVID mess. That's sure.
Yeah.
That's a good program. That's great.
kidding aside, I agree with you both. And I have to tell you, I think Greg was here today and you saw this, but Crystal and Brenda have started a movement here, which the offices are being decorated. And I guess there's John Navarro. He was sucked in. I mean, he was volunteered to be a judge. There's a movement among the offices for decorations, and apparently the first selectman's office is Hawaiian Christmas. So Don Ho will be appearing here, and Greg saw it today. There's there's palm trees, thank you, decorated with lights, and there's lays around and whatever. So that's Brenda and Crystal, and I know the other offices are being done also. So, but again, Chan, as you said, and it's true, this has been a horrible year for a lot of us, and just trying to do business as usual, but having to deal with this COVID situation and whatever. So we're doing the best we can.
What about the gingerbread house? Are you doing this virtual gingerbread house?
Well, Christine's asking about the gingerbread house. I'll tell you what it's all about. If we may be pulling the plug, because I think there's only 2 people that have entered. People were going to enter gingerbread houses, which would be a People's Choice Award. And we were going to display them at Roseland Park. And it was going to be in the barn. And I talked to Stu Morse about having constables there. The issue is Rick Harless, who's the manager, at the park, was very concerned about the 2.1 from the governor and COVID and having indoor groups and 50% and 25%. So anyway, I talked to Stu about limiting the number of people at once in there, and also the number of people coming into the park. Because if you remember, they had a major issue with Trunk or Treat, cast of thousands. It looked like Cecil B. DeMille, and it was a mess. And if you gentlemen are aware of what happened last Sunday night in Putnam with the reverse holiday dazzle parade, it was not a good situation. Anyway, Rick is very concerned about it. I talked to him a number of times, but I think in reality, in talking to Anthony, I think the deadline might have been next Monday. And I believe he only had 2 folks that had entered. So that may not happen. The other thing they're looking at is the Business Association is doing a food donation program in conjunction with Teague. Teague will have their box truck down at Roseland Park. Does anybody have that date? 13th? 13th. And that's going to be advertised and put out, I think, on a town website, Facebook page. And the Business Association is doing that. I believe there's something about giving people that donate so much, giving them a chance to win a, donated gift certificates from the Business Association. And also Anthony's in touch with the American Legion to do a Christmas holiday lighting program down at Roseland Park. We did it last year. Things are a little bit different this year, unfortunately. I'm not sure where that is. I know that the Dave Kimball annual tree lighting was done virtual this year. And if you've driven by Roseland Park, you can see Roseland Cottage. You can see the tree, it's decorated and it's lit up at night. It looks very nice. But previously, there were speakers. The Hill Singers gave a concert and there was a lighting of the tree. And that was done in all of the towns virtually because of the COVID situation. What else? We're red. We also, I may have mentioned at the last meeting, or I was recently at a meeting. We in Eastern Connecticut will have access to the vaccine probably the 3rd or 4th week of December. They're doing a hierarchy of who will be getting it first. EMTs, police, fire, elderly, teachers, town employees, because we're considered essential. I told folks here, I think we're like the 5th level. One of the things is they're still working out vaccination programs. Derek May, who works for Northeast Department of Health, recently did a flu clinic drive-through. Part of it was to get the flu vaccine out there, and part of it was to do a dry run for the COVID vaccine. That's still in the works. My understanding is because of the special storage needs for the Pfizer vaccine, it's like 20 below centigrade, and we don't have the facilities to maintain that vaccine. So we may be getting one of the other vaccines. More will be coming out with that, and I'm letting you folks know, but I think that's going to be coming out from Northeast Department of Health and that sort of thing. That's about it. Do you, let's see, do we have, find the minutes. Not the minutes, the agenda. I got it, agenda. Okay, I think that's about it. I know that's it for correspondence. I think that's about it for announcements. I'll think of something about 15, 18 minutes after we finish the meeting. Any public comments or questions or no? Okay. Anything else from the committee? Of course, I would be disappointed. I'm sorry.
As a citizen and selectman, and this is, I'm going to lean towards Greg on this a little bit. Be on the lookout for people to fill these vacancies. We just went through, I believe, 5 resignations, and Woodstock survives with volunteers. We need more people to help out. We can't keep counting on the same group of people that tend to pitch in and take care of a lot of things. So maybe Greg, if you could get to the DTC, Charlie, Super, and you know, I think it's just the RTC and the DTC should be pushing hard to try and find these people, but also anyone at large. You know, we need people like Joe Adeletta or, you know, something like that.
Yeah, nice suggestion.
Already doing his share on planning and zoning.
And you know, it's true. And I've talked to people about this, people I know in the community, and I said, you know, we've got a lot of vacancies on a lot of boards and commissions. And unfortunately, well, it's not unfortunate, it's reality, but a lot of these boards and commissions are people that have been there many, many years. I mean, these are older folks. And a lot of the folks of resignation, it's issues of age. I mean, they're older folks that have been doing this for years. And unfortunately, in talking to people in town, and I think a lot of towns have this issue, many people that move into town, the days of volunteerism are over. We join the fire department, you know, this sort of thing, are served on various boards. And a lot of people, they just want to come live in town. Many of them work out of the area. They commute to Hartford or Worcester, Providence. And it's like they just feel that with their family responsibilities, they don't have the time to serve. So anyway, but Greg, I'm sorry, Chan, your thoughts are very good. Also, for both of you, I just got it, in fact, you got one too, correct. I requested an updated town directory for various commissions and boards because I'll mention some in the, oh no, he's no longer the chair or she's no longer the chair. So anyway, we'll have a better idea of what vacancies we have. And we could probably, post those vacancies as a little nudge on the Facebook page and on the town website. And share with both the Republican and Democratic town committees. Okay. Greg, yes.
A follow-up to Chandler, and a question for you, Jay. Do you know, have there been any applications received to serve on the Economic Development Commission?
Just one.
And would that be Frank Ola?
It would be,
Okay.
but it kind of gets rubber stamped by us, and
We have to approve it, right?
Well, I haven't seen the application.
Oh, okay.
I believe it came in, but I think it was being sent to the chair of that committee.
All right. Okay.
And then at some point, I guess it comes back they have to approve it. And then it comes back to us I don't know if it's so much approved or rubber stamp. I guess it is approved.
I'm not sure how she knows this, but I had a quick talk with Tina LaJoy, and she met, and I asked about that. Somehow we got into that committees and all that, and she said that actually the person who served on that and moved out of town has yet to resign, so she needs to get that resignation effective, and then the Board of Selectmen could act on it.
She knows that. Tina and I talked about that, and I told her that we haven't received a formal resignation from that lady.
Right.
So she was going to work on that. But I think she's aware of Frank, and I know that application came in.
Right.
In fact, I got an email from Charlie mentioning that some time ago. You had mentioned it, and I'm pretty sure that the application went out. And the application came back. Now it may be
you mentioned either the potential vacancy or the vacancy. It probably was the potential vacancy, and to me, and I brought it up and at the Democratic Town Committee's virtual meeting most recently, and Frank offered to be involved. So
right.
The committee voted yes, but the procedure is Frank needs to get the application form from Crystal, which he did, and then submit that, and you got the letter from Charlie, so that should take care of that.
Well, no, I believe his application has come in, but what I'm saying is that lady has to resign.
Correct.
Because there is no vacancy.
Yeah, that's right. I also was thinking of this though. Frank lives in the historic district. And I wonder if maybe that might be more up his alley. I don't know. Just a thought.
Okay. I'm seriously, I can't say. I don't know.
Yeah. All right.
Listen, I noticed I went by his house the other night, and it looks very nice with the lights in the front door and the spotlight and stuff. And he has not registered yet to be one of the houses in consideration. So Greg, I just want to caution you not to do write-in votes, okay? You have to be registered as a home that's competing.
Well, can we offer it to whoever wins it? Can they borrow the trophy to bring it to their home for their annual Christmas party?
Yes, but it has to go with a constable because I want it returned. I don't want it sitting on the mantle for a year.
Okay, all right.
This is not like NCAA where you get the trophy and you take it back,
Yeah, right.
Anyway.
All right. I got a couple other things, but if you're
okay.
So you want me to do that now?
Yes, please.
All right. So I understand also from Tina that tomorrow, and this is for the benefit of those in the listening audience who don't know this, that tomorrow at 12 noon, there's a ribbon cutting at the Rusty Relic, which has just been the house that's now renovated right at the corner of 169 and Child Hill Road. And they have a brand new front porch and all that. So That's at 12 noon, and she suggested to me that as a selectman, I ought to go. I said, you know what? I'm glad to go to something like that, but somebody's got to tell me that this is going on. I didn't know anything about that. So now I know, and now you know. It's 12 o'clock tomorrow.
Greg, can I just ask, when did you get that information?
Today.
No, what time today?
What time did you see me? It was before I ate lunch, so it was before 1 o'clock.
Okay. No, the reason I ask is I think the building inspector went out there this afternoon. So we got to be cautious about some of these things. I don't know.
Okay.
No, it's okay.
So,
It's just,
so it might not happen?
I'm not saying that. I just say
All right.
you have no idea how things happen in this building day to day.
All right.
Don't count your rusty relics before they hatch.
Before they
That's
rust.
my grandmother used to say that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And then the other thing I wanted to just mention, since you talked about the food drive from the business association, the Democratic Town Committee in conjunction with Teague is presenting a boot drive, winter boots for children of Woodstock, and any extras would go to children in the service area of Teague, and that's supposed to be this coming Saturday. But there's really bad weather coming, and we're thinking that maybe we might need to change that. So if you're interested in supporting it, listen to WINY. That's all I can say. We'll put the word out if it's postponed. But it's supposed to be this Saturday, the 5th, from 10 to 1 at the firehouse right next to the town hall, Woodstock Volunteer Fire Association, that station right there.
You know,
Winter boots, brand new, not used, in the original packaging, not wrapped, and for children sizes, either gender, boys or girls. And if they don't want to give money, don't want to buy boots, checks will be greatly accepted, made payable to Teague.
Okay. And I saw that ad because a lot of times there are people that don't want to be out shopping because of the COVID thing. But I saw that in your ads. And the other thing, please, if it's going to be canceled, get the word out, because I've seen your advertising on Facebook. It's been on Winnie. I know about the boot drive, and good job on the advertising. But yeah, if for some reason it's going to be canceled, you got to get the word out.
Thank you. All right. And one other thing I'll just throw out there and mention is that Russell Downer, the president of the fire department, the Woodstock Volunteer Fire Association, put out a holiday message regarding fire safety. And it's very relevant, and it's on the town website, the fire department's website, and both Facebook pages for that. And it's in all the media have got it, and WINY is running it. I expect it to be in the Villager next week, but it's a really good advice on common sense things to do this time of the year.
Keep the wreath red.
Keep the wreath red.
I saw the ads.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it from me.
All right. Chan, anything else?
Nope, got it all covered.
Okay. Dawn? Okay. Would anybody care to move to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.